What's good, YouTube? This is Mr. Purple Zero back with another video. And I wanted to address Nate McMillan for his comments regarding the Knicks and the 21K or 20K fine the league handed out to him. First things first, let me say this. I'm not a Knicks fan, far from a Knicks fan. But when you try to go in and make a narrative about the Knicks this year and say the league wants them to do this and the league wants them to do that, stop being a sucker, Nate. Stop being a sucker, because if you don't realize what's going on, the Knicks been garbage for years. Since Pat Ewing and all of that was done, the Knicks have been garbage for years. You need to learn to let some teams rock. Let the Knicks rock and shut your mouth. Focus on your team right now that's in the playoffs. Focus on getting a win. You see, you're too worried about somebody else. You see, I didn't have a problem with you saying the league wants the Knicks in, because that's a fact. The league wants the Knicks in the playoffs because they've been garbage for so long. It's a big market team, so it's obvious the Knicks deserve and should be, in that kind of conversation. It's a big market team. Anybody would want those big market teams in the playoffs. It makes sense. It makes dollars. You as a head coach, that's none of your business. Focus on the Atlanta Hawks. Focus on making sure that you get that win, whether it be the first game, second game, winning that series against the Knicks. Because when you look at the bigger picture and you sit back and you analyze, y'all got the same record. The Hawks and the Knicks got the same record. See, that's what I like about a 4 or 5 seed. A 4 or 5 seed is no disadvantage. Yes, one team has a home court advantage, but it's not a real disadvantage when you look at the big picture and you put both teams on the playing field. So what you doing now is playing divide and conquer. And you trying to be sneaky about it by just throwing things out there so the refs could pick up on it, and you creating a false narrative. Talking about they're going to get calls and we got to work. It's a home game in Madison Square Garden. If it's a home game in Atlanta for the Atlanta Hawks, of course, the court is in your favor. That's what home court advantage is about. And I'm not understanding, I am understanding what you're doing, and that's why you got fined. 20K, that's not enough. They should have fined your ass $75K or $100K for that bullshit you was doing, because that's a sucker move. That's a sucker move. You got a mob. You got a squad. That might be one of the best matchups we watched in this whole first round of the playoffs. The Hawks, at least for the East Coast, Hawks and the Knicks. That's got to be a beautiful matchup because both teams are damn near even. I would say the Hawks are more offensively and the Knicks are more a defensive team. But either way, when you look at it on the bigger picture, that team, this game is going to be a solid series. There's no need for the backhand talking. There's no need to be trying to throw shots under the table and try to take the Knicks and try to take away from the Knicks because they haven't one good season out of all the past 10 years or whatever years it may be. They're finally doing good. Your job as a head coach is to coach. Do your job. Stop worrying about what's going on if the media is talking about the Knicks. They should talk about the Knicks. They should talk about the Knicks. What have the Knicks been doing before this season? It's been upset after upset, picking this person, Frank Nicotilla, whatever his name is, the French dude, he's garbage. Porzingis didn't want to play with them. The light-skinned boy, they don't play him no more. Alfred Payton's their point guard. This is what the Knicks got to deal with. So now they're finally on the come up, and you're trying to snatch their shine, and you're trying to make a narrative so when the playoffs start for your game on Sunday, because you're mad because you're playing Sunday now, because they pushed the game back so it could be prime time. Common sense. That's a prime time game. The Knicks are fucking hot. Excuse my language. The Knicks are hot. They're hot. Focus on the Hawks. Focus on Trae Young. Focus on getting a win. Stop trying to put narratives and put little bubbles in people's ear so you can push your team up. Because you're not even pushing your team to me like that. To me, that's just weak. You soft like that. You're making the Hawks look soft. If I was Trae Young and them on that team, I'd be like, yo, shut up. We got this. I don't care what the Knicks got. Julius Randolph, Reggie Bullock hitting the threes. I don't care what they got because we're going to go out there, we're going to beat them. Let's try to sweep them too. We on that type of time. We don't need to complain to the refs or to the officials and try to get calls for the Sunday game or whatnot. That's a weak move. Bitch-made move, if you ask me.